former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani goes on the record. Good evening, Mayor, and what a contrast. I mean, I know everybody's excited here in the arena, and for good reason. This is a historic night,
Sure.
a woman heading the ticket. On the other hand, there's an awful lot of talk that so far there's not been any discussion of terrorism, and we have this Catholic priest in France, the most unthinkable thing. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, first of all, I think it is highly insulting and inappropriate that they didn't take at least a moment of silent prayer for this priest whose throat was cut by an Islamic terrorist. I can't imagine either political party ignoring that. I can only attribute it to the fact that Barack Obama has spent 8 years ignoring the danger of Islamic extremist terrorism, underestimating it, calling ISIS the JV, and it's been a tremendous failure. And now we had in the south of Germany 4 attacks in the last 8 days, and now we have one in France. It seems to be happening every other day. This country and this world has not been under this kind of an attack. I can't remember when. I mean, you'd have to go back to before I was born.
That's just incredible. I understand Governor Terry McAuliffe just briefly discussed ISIS. I would think, Mayor, that we're hearing that President Bill Clinton is still writing his speech, and this may be the moment during his speech when he'll make some reference to what his wife would do as President of the United States to try to defeat ISIS. But this would be a good opportunity. He can fill that gap because people are noticing that it hasn't been discussed.
Well, it would really be interesting how he explains how she's going to defeat it when she's kind of helped develop it by pulling and being part of the administration that pulled our troops out of Iraq, which is the only reason ISIS was able to flourish. I mean, the Sunnis had to go somewhere. So some of them went and hid, and the others became part of ISIS. And it's all because Barack Obama had this timetable to bring our people out of Iraq. Joe Biden failed to get any kind of an agreement on American troops being left behind, and that's how ISIS developed. Their intelligence on ISIS has been nothing short of grossly negligent. ISIS is the JV. Now, she is part of that administration, and she's part of the decisions that helped to get rid of Gaddafi. And look what we have in Libya now. In Libya, we have an ISIS stronghold. So Hillary Clinton has played a very big role in the development of ISIS. So I can't imagine what Bill Clinton's going to say about what she's going to do to defeat it, since she certainly has done a heck of a lot to create it.
Well, I should note that Nancy Pelosi, is now speaking here in the convention hall. Mr. Mayor, when you think about it, it's like, churches should be the safe place to go. And we saw it down South Carolina when that man brutally executed those people. Now we have this in France, ISIS. What are we going to have to do? Put metal detectors up at churches? I mean, this is just, the whole world is horrified, as it should be.
Well, we don't fight the military campaign against it because the president's first words out of his mouth are no boots on the ground. We get ridiculous decisions like Hillary's in overthrowing Gaddafi. And we don't fight the war of ideas either, because by failing to mention Islamic extremist terrorism, we're not fighting the war of ideas the way we did during the Cold War, that our ideas are better. The idea that a woman can be nominated for President of the United States. Women can't drive in Saudi Arabia. Women are executed under strict Sharia law. We should be talking about these things. We should be showing the world that our values are better, the way we showed to Poland and the Czech Republic and Russia. And that's how we won the Cold War. We won the war of ideas. And President Obama and Secretary Clinton have never fought that war of ideas.
Well, Mayor, another part of tonight's convention and part of the program is called Mothers of the Movement. Now, that group is made up of mothers who've had children killed by law enforcement or due to gun violence. Including that group are the mothers of Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, and Michael Brown. And, of course, you'll remember in August of 2014, Michael Brown was shot and killed in Ferguson, Missouri. His death sparked the Hands Up, Don't Shoot chant and thrusted the Black Lives Matter movement into the national spotlight. Grand jury investigated that Ferguson shooting and did not indict the police officer. And, Mayor, last week at the Republican National Convention, you really fired up the crowd by remembering the men and women who put their lives on the line to keep us safe. Here it is.
We say thank you to every police officer and law enforcement agent who's out tonight protecting us, black, white, Latino, of every race, every color, every creed, every sexual orientation. When they come to save your life, they don't ask if you are black or white. They just come to save you.
Mayor, tonight there are no mothers of police officers who are killed in the line of duty. So, I mean, I guess in sort of sense of unity, it would have been nice to hear from both sides. I don't know what you think.
Well, what I think it shows you exactly what the very Socialist Democrat Party has become. It's become a one-sided party, showing no respect for law enforcement. Some of the cases you're mentioning, the police officers were found not guilty. Police officers in Baltimore, 2 of them now have been found not guilty. I believe the judge was an African-American judge. So not only are they not showing respect for law enforcement, they're not showing respect for our system of justice.
You know, though, I mean, look, I know Democrats grieve for these police officers. Those 5 police officers murdered in Dallas, of all things, they were out there protecting peaceful protest against police officers. The irony of that, they grieve. But it's just sort of, to me, it's just being so tone deaf to law enforcement in this country, not to give them sort of the equal attention, because they do put their lives on the line, and many have lost them. That's what I think is, you know, this is such a missed opportunity for the Democratic Party.
What about the police officers in Baton Rouge who were responding to a call from apparently an African-American woman that she was in peril because a gun was being pointed at her? Turned out to be a phony call. They were ambushed and slaughtered. And they were coming to the defense of a black woman.
Anyway.
We're not going to respect that. So what I say to the Democratic Party is, you have become a socialist party. You want us to economically be like Greece, and you want us to buy this racial narrative that we are a divided country, and we're not. Many of the police officers in the United States are African American and Hispanic, and their lives are on the line just as much as the white police officers. In New York, we've had Hispanic police officers killed, white police officers, black police officers, and Asian police officers. All of them trying to save, in large part, African-American lives. How about some respect for them? And how about some respect for our system of justice that has found a number of these people not guilty?
Mayor, thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.